Welcome everyone to Spurs Asian TV. Right. Good evening to wherever you are. Good morning to wherever you are. And of course, good afternoon, and of course, all the salutations out there. Today I have 10 here on my. Yep, this time I've got this
Yeah.
correct this time. Yep. He's a Newcastle fan. Maybe later there'll be a few more Spurs fans hopping on. Uh, there was supposed to be a Manchester United fan, but he didn't turn up.
I wonder.
Everybody. Yeah, we,
But
we,
yeah,
we wonder why, right? The last show that I did with you, it was like, oh, all big time kind of, and then in the end, he didn't turn up. So, but it's good to have you on 10, right?
yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, this past Sunday was when Newcastle beat Spurs and Deportivo beat Racing Ferrol, which I went to the game. So, and both teams won, Newcastle and Deportivo. So, pretty good weekend, I would say. And then now it's the international break. I know the Philippines, as far as I know, are beating Malaysia in a friendly or something like that.
Seriously? No, I don't think it's a friend. I think it's a Merdeka tournament having. There's a
Yeah.
Merdeka tournament going on. It's not friendly,
Last time I
but
saw, I think Philippines are winning 1-0 against
okay.
Malaysia. So, well, I don't know. I'm not really watching it, but yeah, so far so
Yeah,
good.
I'm not watching it. But I think I have it live. I should be watching it, but I don't care about Malaysian football, right? Because you know my feelings of Southeast Asian football.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all just for the fun of it, right? So, but I guess what we're gonna do is that we just go straight into it, right?
yeah.
Since you're Newcastle 2, Spurs 1. Since you're the guest, you will have first dips on this.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on this?
well, I mean, I watch basically majority of the game, because I was in A Coruña, so I was just like relaxing near the beach because the stadium is near the beach. So I was just around by a bench or whatever, just watching the game on my phone. And so I watched like basically, I don't know if you remember this part of the match. Remember when one of the linesmen got injured?
Oh yeah, hamstring.
That's when I started watching the game, basically. So from what I saw or heard, the first 20 minutes from Newcastle is that Newcastle were the better of the two teams in the first 20 minutes until one of the referees got injured. And then afterwards, I just saw Tottenham just try to attack and attack, have all of the possession, all of the ball, and all that. But then, kind of like against the one of play, Newcastle scored in the 37th minute. Harvey Barnes. It was, I think, a quick throw in, and if I remember, it might have been Gordon or Isak that made basically the pass to what do you call this, to Harvey Barnes to score, and we took the lead against Spurs, and then it was halftime by that time.
Mhm.
So first half we took our chance basically, but maybe we should have done better a little bit. And then second half, I actually didn't watch the part where Dan Burns scored the own goal, but I saw it back eventually. Um, But it looked like your favorite player, Brenda, was probably Tottenham's most threatening player off the bench.
Don't go there. Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah,
Thanks, Balu. It's not a new account. I've had this account for about 3 years, but I do shows when I feel like doing shows. But let's see.
yeah,
Thanks for the subscribe and the like, bro. And don't forget, go over to Ten's channel and give him a like and subscribe too, right?
yeah.
And of course, big up to Chris Agamba. Big up, Chris. Hope you're doing well, right? But yeah, I know. Yeah,
And then like what after Spurs scored or when we scored the own goal, it was still Spurs trying to attack and attack. But then when Newcastle scored, well, just before that, literally Joe Wellington, all he had to do was just turn one of your midfielders, I think it was Madison or Bentoncourt or someone like that, and then he just played a through ball, a pass, just past your, what do you call this, your super high line, Jacob Murphy, and then Isak was just on, basically free, and then surely you don't miss from there, and Isak scored, and it ended 2-1, and then Newcastle just defended for the remainder of the game, even though Spurs had probably a lot of good chances. But ultimately, you guys didn't take your chances because you guys could have beaten us, but weren't clinical enough, I guess. So yeah, that was my takeaways on what I saw from the game.
Okay. Honestly, to tell the truth, right? It is what it is, right? During your preview show, that when we were doing it earlier, I already told you, we will be susceptible to the ball, one ball through our high line or one ball over the top,
Yeah,
right? We dominated possession. We had all the chances, and like you said, we weren't clinical enough. And
yeah,
like I've been saying, this whole transfer window, we have not upgraded our quality by buying the players that we bought, right? And this is the result we get. So, but then a lot of Spurs fans are saying, "Oh, this is a much better performance, right, from the last two seasons when we were smacked and all the blah blah blah." But then I still come down to the point is that we still lost. It doesn't matter
yeah,
whether you lose 10-0, right? You still lost, right? It doesn't matter whether you lose 1-0, it's you still lost. So now is the time is that being a Spurs fan, I'm getting a bit worried because we are seeing this trend from last season being brought over to now. But of course, the performances, the pressing, and all that has been much better. But the sad part is that the defending is still horrendous. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's
It's
like
like
we don't
one
know what.
improvement, and the other is just the same.
Yeah, it's like because our defenders are more or less on your side of the pitch, right? And to tell the truth, during the first goal is that we switched off.
Yeah,
Yes, we switched off, and from a throw-in, we switched off, and you got that goal. The second
yeah,
goal you scored, right, is that we were pressing so high up, and when we lost the ball, the counter attack is just one through ball, and Jacob Murphy was
yeah,
going at us. Bissouma was actually chasing him down. The thing is that Bissouma should have brought him down, not just chased him. Take
yeah.
the yellow. You get what I'm saying? Take the yellow, take the
Or even a
beating,
red.
take the red, take something. So technically, intelligence and all that. That's why I suspect that. Oh, and I've been harping on this since last season. We have possession of the ball, and we go down the line, come back up the middle, go down the other side, come back up the middle, and we play horseshoe football, right? And to tell the truth, right, the goal that was supposedly scored by Brenda was actually an own goal. Because
Yeah,
if you look at the angles, right, when he hit that ball, right, the ball was actually going out or it will hit the post. But of course, if it hits the post, we still do not know whether it will bounce in or bounce
yeah,
out.
probably. Yeah,
But of course, thank you to Dan Burn, right? It
yeah.
was an
On
own goal.
goal.
Yeah, it was an own goal. But the funniest part is, right, we had, I mean, the first half, you guys more or less, were playing to the sense that it was a certain thing, how you call the control were more or less on your side, right?
Yeah,
But once we came out in the second half, we gave it a go. With the changes and all that. Of course, a lot of people were saying yes. Brenda was effective on the right wing. He created a lot of what call, I wouldn't say chances. He created a lot of situations where we look dangerous, right? But just hold on. Let me bring on another guest. I haven't seen in a long time.
Hello.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, boss. Hi,
Right.
can you hear me?
Just
Can you
hold
hear
on.
me?
Let me bring on another guest. I haven't seen in a long time.
Hello.
Hey,
Boss. Hi, can you hear me?
just
Can you
hold
hear
on.
me?
Let me bring on another guest. I haven't seen. Okay. Doc, you got an echo on your side. So, yeah, yeah. I think you have to, yeah, let him adjust it and let's see how that goes. Right.
yeah.
And Doc, I'm not sure you met Doc Ramlan before.
I
He's
think
a,
1 or 2 times. Yeah, I've met
yeah,
him.
yeah, from last season. Right. So let me try this again one more time before we go on.
2 times. Yeah, I've met
Yeah,
him.
from last season. Right. So let me try this again one more time before we go on. Doc, I think you have to from last season. close to your
Close
tab
to your tap, right?
because you have
Because
an
you have
echo
an echo
coming from your
coming from
phone
your phone
or your
or
laptop.
your laptop. Close tap your tap because
All right. I mean, okay. At least he can. I can hear us, right? So I'm sure he can hear us while he's being muted. So let's go on again. So as we look like we are progressing, but like I said, the quality isn't there. So that's why maybe you get a Doc Ramlan's opinion when he comes back on when he sorts out his audio,
Audio.
yeah, and then we will go on from there. But being now into the three games that I've seen, right, I look a bit worried. I feel a bit worried. It's because, like I said, the trend is still there. It's continuing again. And the thing is that if we don't, I know there are a lot of Spurs fans saying, if Solanke was playing, right, we would have someone in the middle to actually put the balls in the net. But there's still no guarantee there. Yes, because there were a couple of times when I saw, there was one time when I think Brenda was running down the flanks, right? And Son was on the left. And if he had put the ball in maybe a touch or two earlier, the ball might have reached Son. But the thing is that he touched one or two touch slower. When he passed the ball in, Gimaresh came back and cut it off, right? And then there was another chance where Odeberg had the ball in the center and Son on his left. Instead of passing it to Son, he took a shot and shot it straight at the defender. So I guess whether would you call that lack of quality or lack of football intelligence to know what to do when you have the ball in a situation to put the ball behind the net? Or in this case, we weren't clinical enough. All right, let me try Doc again. Whether have he solved his issues? Yes, Doc. Can you hear me now? No? Okay, Doc has jumped off. Yeah, maybe he's finding some difficulties to adjust his volume and all that. So if you break it all down, right, at this time of moment, even to tell the truth, you guys didn't look any fantastic. They didn't look any more fantastic than and so it made me feel like we should have beaten you. Right?
Yeah.
I won't say we should have beaten you easily, but we should have beaten you. And it comes back to the same thing again. It reminds me of the Leicester game. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc. Yeah, now
Okay.
it's better. Yes, now I can hear
Is
you
it?
clear.
Yeah.
Much, yeah, with the earphones. Yeah. that's
Okay,
it.
okay. Right.
Yeah, thanks. Doc. I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, well, Doc.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can still hear an echo.
I can't hear an echo anymore. Maybe
Yes. Yeah.
on your, have you got
Yeah.
any tabs open on your laptop?
Let me just give me another minute.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let Doc settle it. Yeah. So we come back to square one again. I know it's early days, right? 3 games into the season, but it's like repeating what we said during the Leicester game. But the Leicester game, we were lucky, we drew, or maybe Leicester wasn't a good enough team to actually beat us, right? And now that we are playing Newcastle, we are seeing that same repeat again. But Newcastle had the quality to beat us. You know, remember what I was saying during your show? I was saying if VDV wasn't there, we're gonna get, we're gonna lose, right? And I said it's gonna be a horror show again, but actually it didn't turn out to a horror show, but we still lost, right? But then I was saying that let's compare your front line with my front line. Remember, right?
Because we started with Bonds, Isak, and Gordon.
Yeah, you started with Barnes, Isak, and Gordon. Okay, let me bring back Doc. Hi, Doc. You
Okay,
still
I
got
think
echo? Now it's better.
sounds better, but I'll try to manage. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, Doc. You still get an
Right.
echo. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
on the YouTube, sorry, on the StreamYard there, right? There, if you
Mhm.
go to settings, there's an echo cancellation thing. Maybe there you can, yeah, for the audio part.
I think now it's okay. It doesn't need to be an echo anymore.
Okay, that's good, right?
Okay.
Yes, Doc,
Right.
haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been doing?
Hey, fine. Thank you, man. It's been quite a while, yeah.
Yeah, been
Yeah.
quite, yeah, been quite a while. Right.
Right.
Have you been traveling?
No, but I was busy because I wasn't in Paris for the Olympics, but I was
Okay.
still around. Yeah, just looking at some of the competitions and making some mental notes about the performances and all that, especially badminton, cycling, and all that. And then on to the Paralympics, which is ongoing at the moment. So we will see how we finish. But between those two, and then when the minister comes back, then I have to see whether whether I'm still needed or not for the next Olympics in 4 years' time. But we'll see. But there you go, quite busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
No, it's a busy man, right? But the thing is that I'm quite surprised they didn't
Ah.
bring you along. You guys like to get an
No.
actual.
No. It's to be honest with you, my work is more like a performance auditor. You know.
Ah,
Then I have basically advised everybody, if you are only preparing in earnest um, for only 1.5 years, do not expect anything much. Yes, so that's the thing, because you have to prepare fully for the whole 4 years. And I think there's something that we need to take away as a takeaway message, that for the Olympics, you prepare for the Olympics for the 4 years. Everything else will follow. You see, the SEA Games, Southeast Asian Games, whatever else at the lower level, it will benefit from really concerted preparation for the Olympics at that level. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. And Doc, since I haven't seen you in such a long time, right? And
yeah,
you've been an old Spurs fan like me, right? And first thing I'd ask you, right? What are
yeah.
your thoughts of the transfer window?
Transfer window. I think we got uh, a whole load of young players coming in, and there's one or two still yet to come. Maybe next year they'll be coming in and all that. Bergval from our academy, Mikey Moore, and all that. It's encouraging, but you need the old wise heads at this moment, right now, to steady the ship. And I think the ones who are already on the field, I'm a bit worried about Son.
That's
He
true.
doesn't
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I'm worried about Son because he seems to have lost a bit of the zip that he had, right? Even when he was trying to bring the ball out, and he was hustled out by Isaac. Remember, on the Spurs left side defending, and I thought, what was happening, because he couldn't outmuscle and just bring the ball out. That's the one thing. And then the other thing is, we perhaps we are perhaps one centre back short, right? We have Van der Ven would have helped a lot in dealing better with the sort of fast breaks that Newcastle were springing on us. They were very clever. They don't have to have 66% possession, to score those goals. All they needed to do was just absorb the attack, right? Back the penalty box, and they spring the attacks. And when you try to you got a midfielder who's trying to bring Joe Linton, right? And Joe Linton breaks free, and you are there left there. Nobody is going with Joe Linton. He has all the time in the world to make a very incisive pass to Murphy, wasn't it? Before the guy, yeah, before he crossed over to Isaac to score that goal, the winning goal. But there you go. That's the thing about Spurs play right now. I think it's encouraging in certain instances, but results do count. I remember we were excited about winning or not losing 10 matches, right? Last season. Yes.
Yeah.
And then everything unraveled after that. I'll be okay if we mess up for 3 or 4 until we get it right, and then get the rest of it right for the rest of the season. I'll be fine. To be honest with you.
But that is what we're hoping for, right? But Doc,
Yeah.
aren't you fearful that we are playing this highline thing, right? And we don't have the players to cope with it. That's the one I'm fearful about. Because what I've seen, right, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this problem, right, is being brought over from last season. This
Mm-hmm.
is not a new problem that Spurs are facing at the moment. This problem has been
Yeah.
brought over from last season, and the
Yeah.
worst part is that the transfer
Yeah.
window didn't help
Yeah.
us to rectify these problems. Number one, we were
Uh-huh.
toothless in front, right? The last season, number one.
Uh-huh.
Number two,
Yeah.
again, uh, we were defensively naive last season, right? And now we
yes.
come to this one. Okay, put it down. It's the first 3 games, right? Guys, don't panic, right? It's the first 3 games. We'll still need time to get it correct. But the thing is
Yeah.
that I told 10 earlier, my fear is we look like it's happening again. PTSD. The feeling is like, oh dear,
Yeah.
why,
Right.
why, why is it happening again? And the sad part is like what you said.
Yeah.
Instead of actually, remember in the beginning of the summer transfer window, right? We were linked to Eze, Tony, and who else? Neto. All the players that were, we were all drooling over. And the next thing we find out, we get Oderberg,
Yeah.
Archie Gray, and of course, I don't want to talk about Turbo Wiener and all that, right? Why did we re-sign him when he didn't even? I mean, of course, the stats and all that look good, but the problem in the end of the day is that where were the goals? Son last season put in 17, right? And the rest of them didn't chip in much at all. So, but of course, now we got Solanke. That's a good thing, right? And the sad part is that I was telling 10 in the preview show, right? My God, we have 125 million pounds, right, of strikers on the medical bench.
Yeah, which was
And the worst part is, even our youngster Lancashire, right? He was doing very well in the preseason. He also is injured. Oh my God! I was going, is this? But it could be a good thing, is because if all these injuries are settled early in the season and then they come good after that, and it's the question is when they come good after that, right? Because we know Richarlison has got this history of continuous injuries, right? And it's painful.
I think it's a simple case of not making our dominance count.
Yeah.
In terms of we've got all the goal attempts, 20 attempts to 6. Well, I think. Yeah, but they scored 2 out of the 6. So there you go. But at the end of the day, I feel that I can take heart from the first just before they scored the second goal, right? That first half of the second half, we were really good. Yeah. It's just that I feel that you see when you play some bloody minded system like this, right, where you really throw everything, all caution to the wind, is you really have to believe in it. You cannot be 50-50. I want to do this, I want to follow the coach, but I don't believe it as much as I should.
Yeah. But that part is I'm saying now is that since you are in the sports, you're a doctor, right? And sports psychology, sports medicine, and all that, right? You see it. You've seen it with national players. Okay, we take Malaysian lah.
Right.
But elite sports is at that level, right? The mental part. Do you see any signs of like frustrations from our Spurs players at the moment? Because there's certain times where you see that when Romero is bombing up so high, right, and he loses the ball, right?
Yeah.
There were a few times in the first half. Dragazin, I think there were 2 times. Dragazin had to run back and do the VDV thing, and the last minute, there was one last minute tackle on Isak in the penalty box.
Yes.
And luckily, it was he got the ball. If he didn't, if he got the player, it would be a red card, right? And the red card would most probably, he would be a goal, and it would most probably lead to a red card because he was, preventing
last man
scenario again. So, but he did well there. But the thing is that we can't expect them to be doing that all the time. So, and have you noticed that our tactics, right, are a big up Elias? What we are doing well. Right, and of course, 10 is saying that subscribe to Spurs TV, and of course, 10 Eaton's channel. Right? He's a Newcastle fan. Sorry, 10. I mean, this is a lot of Spurs talk at the moment, right? Later we'll come to right? Because
I think 10 is okay. He got the result he wanted, no problem.
But Doc, right?
Yeah.
Newcastle wasn't performing too well too because they had their injuries. Yes, right? I mean, in the previous show I did with him before the match, right? I was telling him, I was comparing our front three. You guys know, I was comparing, right? Odeberg, Son, Hulu, or Brenner, right?
Okay.
They've got Anthony
Yeah.
Gordon, Harvey Barnes, and Isak. So that's the vast difference there, right?
Yeah.
And then
You see, like if I can make this point at this juncture, that firstly we're playing at their stadium. Okay,
yeah.
we're playing in Newcastle, right? Look at the crowd. Newcastle crowd is famous. They always 100% be behind their team. Yes, that's number one. Number two, this is sports like this is basically at this level. I feel that they were quite equal, in terms of strength on paper, right? Who was it that said you were strong on paper, but unfortunately we're playing on the field or something like that? Or was it Brian Clough or something, right? So that's really funny. So, but the thing is, it's always situations of small margins, if something had gone right, it would result in a goal. Like how Harvey Barnes, he shaped himself up very nicely. He was a first time effort straight into goal, right? He was a beautiful goal. But the second one was the one which I feel really exposed our flaws and our weaknesses. The second one, not the first one. The first one was fair enough because I feel like it's a beautiful goal, well shaped up. Yeah.
Yeah, but would you? Okay, let me. Daniel Coy, speak up. Hope you're doing well, right?
Yeah.
Newcastle were there for the taking. It was very true, right? They were poor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the second, the fact that Spurs did not punish them, that's criminal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The quality of the front.
You see, that is the thing, because they tried and they tried and they tried, and at the end of that, all that belief petered out, right? It frittered away. It frittered away, and then they were wondering, are we? Maybe it's not my night. It's not my day. Yes, and then suddenly, once your belief is down even 5%, right? You're 5% down from before. You are basically setting up yourself up for failure.
Yeah. No, but that means that our
Yeah.
players are mentally strong enough to hold on
No.
for that 90
You see the thing about mental strength. Sometimes mental strength is overplayed. It's all about belief, Mental strength is another matter. To be honest with you, even though they sound the same, the most important thing is that everybody on the field themselves there's no leader on the field, right? You have a goalkeeper who was shouting at players to make errors and all that, but Son was, I don't know, I've never believed that he's the captain sort, he's not the captain type, and yeah.
Captain of South Korea.
Well, to be honest with you, South Korea, he can speak Korean to everybody, right?
Maybe the communication sense. Yeah.
This one, he's speaking Korean English, talking to a Spaniard and talking to what else, a Dutchman, so on and so forth. It's difficult, because this sort of communication sometimes is all about confidence. If he himself is not playing well, then that undermines him even further.
But don't you feel that Son is actually being used in the wrong position? I mean, a lot of people say now maybe Son has lost his pace and all that. He needs to go to become a number 9.
Yeah.
Whenever he plays as a number 9, right, he gets crowded out, and he can't.
You remember the time when our right winger Brennan, yeah? Brennan. You call him Brenda just now? No.
I call him Brenda.
Okay, Brenda. Okay. No, he crossed right in the danger zone, but Son, he had retreated back, right, to the middle of the penalty box because he wanted the space to work a shot. He's not the person who will throw himself at it. You see?
Yeah.
So you needed a Solanke to throw himself at that sort of chance,
Yeah,
so there you went there begging. Yeah.
But the problem with Brenda, right, is that I see, right, he lacks certain intelligence. Because remember, when there was one point, right, we were he was taking the ball running down the flanks, right? Son was on the left. There were 2 defenders, right? And the thing is that he should have passed the ball earlier into the penalty box to Son, but he took 2 touches. By the time when he passed the ball, right, Bruno Guimaraes came back and intercepted the ball.
His impact on the game in the second half when he came on. Suddenly it went up, right? We played much better, right?
Yeah, I don't deny that. There was a lift there. But
okay. But that is not sustainable. You know why? Because he's just picking up the pace. He makes everybody pick up the pace.
Yep.
Okay, you cannot play slowly, and because against a massed defense like that. So once you get the pace, then you beat someone, just one person, and then suddenly you're in. But the problem is the final ball doesn't help the person who's receiving the ball to make the scoring opportunity. You see?
That's why there were two
yeah.
chances that way. Remember, there was also one chance when Odeberg was in the center. He was one-on-one with the defender. Son was on the left feet. But instead of passing the ball to Son, he took a shot. So that's what I'm saying. Are we find players, right, who don't have the foresight, or they are so tunnel vision, they can't see this way, they see this way, right? And that's what we get. And the sad part is that the goal that was scored wasn't even scored by Brenda.
It was a no goal. but to be fair, that goal would not have goal would not have happened if that cross has not come in, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that goal would not have happened if Dan Burn hadn't touched the ball. Because based on the angles, right? The ball was going out.
He was going away. He's going out. Yeah. Fair enough. I to be honest with you, I'm not the type who try to make up the situation. It was what it was. You see, it was a no goal, but it's still a goal because we'll take it anyway it comes. Anyway it comes. We will take it anyway it comes. I'm sure Newcastle will agree with me. Agree with me with that. But the most important thing,
No, go ahead. No, sorry.
You see, the thing is, if you look at the previous match, the one that really highlighted how well Kulusevski can do a job in the penalty box.
Match we played Everton.
Wait. You see, if you observe, you see the first goal that Bissouma scored. Yes.
Yeah.
Brennan tried to go across the players in the penalty box, but I looked at him and said, why is he so stiff in the hips? Because he's using speed to get through. And then when the ball came back, recycled, Madison gave it to White got to Kulusevski. Remember?
Yeah.
What did he do? He wiggled his way, and then he presented the ball to Bissouma to score the goal.
Smashes it.
So when I saw that, such a big difference between a player who's so stiff and runs in a straight line, right, and someone who can actually play the ball, a ball player, right?
That means now you agree with me, right? We're going to call him Brenda then.
Well. The thing about Johnson is that his name is Johnson. His name is Johnson. Okay, right?
It's good. Yeah, you changed that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but the fact of the matter, I'm a positive guy. Eugene. At the end of the day, once I look at that, I look at the positives. Right? The positives are there, but those positives have to expand. Right? The thing is, we lost our belief after 20 minutes when we didn't score after all those opportunities in front of goal.
Okay, because I've been seeing a lot of shows, right? Because after the Leicester game, right, after all the control and it's like the repeat of the Newcastle game, but because Newcastle had a bit better quality, right, with Isak,
definitely,
and they took their chances, right? And to tell the truth, during the Leicester game, right, when we conceded that Leicester goal, right, I'm sure even 10 would if you watched it, right, you could see our heads drop. Yes, sir. Our heads dropped, and Leicester got control of the game, right, and squeezed us. You understand? And from there, right, we will. I'm not going to say lucky, because when Benton had his head injury, there was a timeout for about 5 to 6 minutes. That's when we were able to refresh. And I think maybe Ash said something to them, hey, wake up, boys, right? Wake up. If not, we're going to lose, right? But of course, maybe the lack of quality from Leicester, they couldn't take advantage of what they had, right? The momentum lost, okay?
Yeah.
Then when you go to the Everton game, we have to admit, Everton is, I don't know what to say.
Very poor. Yeah, they were very poor. Yeah,
they were very poor. And we took
Yeah.
advantage of them being poor.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
But then we go to Newcastle, of course, St. James Park. We've got PTSD, right? The past 2 seasons, we've completed 10 goals, right? Even 10. When we were doing the show, right? I was saying 10, right? PTSD is there. You can say that. And especially, I don't blame the 5 or the 6-1 because that one was being Conte just left, and then Wilson, right? came in and everything went to hell from there. Then this season, a lot of us are saying, okay, since we lost 2-1, there are improvements there. But I was
Only
telling
2-1.
Ted, yeah, we lost 2-1 and there were improvements there, right? But I was telling Ted, right, the Newcastle team weren't that fantastic at all,
Yeah.
right? To be
Yeah.
honest, the
Yeah.
Newcastle
Yeah.
weren't that fantastic at all. And the thing is that if we had taken our chances, we could have been, I mean, in like say the first part of the second half, we should have been at least 2 goals ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
Coming down to it again, right? This game, right? Big up, right? Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. How would I pronounce that name? Say Ray, right? And of course, Eli saying big up to that voice, right? But
Okay.
guys, we have to come down to this. I understand it's beginning of season. I've been saying it. This is PTSD again. It's bringing me back to what I call last season, and of course, 8744. Big up to you too. Hope you're doing well, right? It's coming from 10's channel, right? We come to this scenario where if the next game is the Arsenal game, right? That scares me. But before the Arsenal game, right, we had to go through the international break. And being a Spurs fan, right, the international break usually breaks us again.
Yeah.
I know. So I don't know. But 10, after what we've been talking for so long, right, I guess we might need some input from you, right? Newcastle at this moment, while we played you, right, you had your injuries too, right? You were missing players and all that. Of course, Shah was suspended because of the red card, and then Botman isn't even back yet. You were also playing with a makeshift back line, you know. Newcastle playing with a makeshift back line, and we didn't take advantage of it. But the thing is that you look strong in the midfield and the attack, because I think in the first part of the second half, while we were dominating, right, Powell just had made 2 changes, if I'm mistaken. He took off Longstaff, he brought on Tonali, right, and then he took off Harvey Barnes, if I'm not mistaken, right, and he brought on Murphy. He brought on Murphy, and these 2 players actually transformed their game, right? Dog, on our bench, who do we bring on? Oh,
well, you see the whole before the match and all that, the whole stadium were really cooking, anticipating Tonali's return. The manager managed to harness that feeling and transfer that to everybody, give them a sense of belief that whatever comes, absorb everything and you can prevail. I think that single factor really energized everybody throughout the whole game, right? They never let their heads drop because it's such a big game for Tonali's return, that sort of thing, I think he played a part. He did play a part. And when he actually came on, suddenly the whole thing went up a few notches, right? Really. So this is something that I think you can benefit. I'm not sure what Spurs are doing at the moment, what sort of mental training they're doing. And to be honest with you, mental training by itself doesn't work. You know why? Because you need to incorporate this into the training on a daily basis. What happens on the pitch, whatever things that you notice on the pitch and all that. We've seen this before. Sometimes you try to isolate this and then suddenly the players will say, do I have a mental problem? Right? What's wrong with me and all that? Why are you saying that I have a problem? Because I'm working with a psychologist and all that. So it is something that you have to be clever about. You cannot afford to be too obvious about these sort of things, these sort of interventions that you give to athletes at this level. So the most important thing right now is still the problem of leadership on the field. When the heads were dropping, because the head did not drop, straight away. It was dropping because opportunity after opportunity never came to fruition. And so what happened? So everybody believed, it is not our day. Once you start believing that, right? You're worried. The biggest danger is worrying, always thinking about the outcome. That we're going to win or lose. It's some simple matter. You never think you win or you lose. You always think about winning the next duel, the next header, the next tackle, and that bit quicker to the ball than the other man. It's all about the processes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you get it. But many athletes, at whatever level in many sports, various sports, this is always a problem. They always worry about the outcome, and it gets to them.
That's true. That's true. But okay, I need to ask Ten this, right? With Tonali, right? Did you really feel that actually when Tonali came on with Murphy, right? The levels of what you guys had, because I think Howe brought him on to actually counter our dominance, right?
Yeah.
To actually do something about it, right? Because when we went down the one goal, right, and then we started to bring on players like, who did we bring on? Bergwall, Werner. Oh, I don't even want to say it, right? And then the levels are different. That's what I'm saying. But for you, Ten, for Tonali, right? What's your feelings about him now?
I mean, I think he should be starting every game, to be honest. But I think the crowd was very excited to see Jacob Murphy more than Tonali. I'm kidding.
You
Well, maybe both. But
is
yeah,
Murphy homegrown?
well, Murphy is a Newcastle fan, so.
Okay.
But with Tonali, yeah, I'm happy to finally get to see him. I mean, he played in the Carabao Cup game against Forest. He was probably our best player until he got subbed off. So when he came on, I guess it helped the atmosphere because we weren't winning. So maybe bringing on Tonali brings that like boost for everyone else and the fans and all. And then we got the win. So technically, Tonali hasn't lost a game yet since his return. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see because Tonali is now already with the Italy national team for the international break after just like 2 games basically. So I guess that kind of shows just how good Tonali is for both Newcastle and Italy. So yeah, our next game is away to Wolves. I don't remember any time that we've beaten Wolves away. Usually it's been a draw, like 1-1, 1-1, 2-2, sometimes like that. So we'll see in like a week and a half from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks time or so. But okay, let's go to that. Right? Since we're going to go into the international break, I'm going to ask Ten first. Ten, how many players do you have out in this season? I mean, how far do your players have to travel? Do they have to go to South America? I'm sure you don't have much Asian players. South American players, I guess so.
I mean, in terms of the European players, obviously there's Tonali. For England, we have 3 players. I think it's Nick Pope, Gordon, and Livramento. And then for Sweden, it's Isak. And then I think that's mostly it. But in terms of the furthest to travel, would probably just be Bruno Guimaraes because he has to play in South America. So he's probably the only one, I would think. Yeah, because Fabian Schär is already retired from international. Trippier has also retired and could even be sold because he's linked to a few clubs in Turkey, such as Fenerbahce, because it's still open, the transfer window in Turkey. So there's talks that Trippier could leave before the Wolves game, basically. So yeah, in terms of the players, just as long as they don't get injured, knock on wood.
That's the thing.
A couple years ago, Isak was injured while playing for Sweden for like half the season. So
and
hopefully,
do you know who's in charge of Fenerbahce now?
God, no.
Jose.
Huh?
Jose. Yeah.
Oh, Mourinho, my old friend.
Old friend.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure he'll be raring to get back at us, in the Europa.
And no, we're playing Galatasaray in the Europa.
Galatasaray. Oh, no, penalty. Oh, okay. All right.
The sad part is, right, Osimhen is going to Galatasaray.
Ah.
but Fenerbahce is playing Man United, So
Yeah,
Jose
that budget
Mourinho
for Man
against Man
United.
United.
Oh, against one of his other teams. Yeah,
One of
Yeah.
that's
his
the
other,
thing. Yeah.
it's one of his other teams there. But no, honestly, to come to tell you, the truth, right? I don't look so far, right? We've got a North London derby coming up, but that will most probably come into play. Let's say we'll be next week, right? Then we'll talk about the NLD. But of course, like we were talking about Wolves big up to Eva, man. Hope you're doing well in Hong Kong, Eva. Hope you're doing well, right? And of course, still can't pronounce this, right? Sere. He's saying Tonali is a good player, right? He
Yeah,
would
of
have
course.
started.
Yeah.
And no, to tell the truth, we should have gotten Chiesa. We were linked to Chiesa. I even forgot we were linked to Chiesa, Eze, right? Tony and all that. And then we get a whole bunch of youngsters coming in, right? And then Liverpool gets Chiesa for £10 million. I'm scratching my head. What are we doing, right? So, yeah, what we're doing, right? But to come to the point now, right? The quality that Newcastle brought on and the quality that we brought on, right? It was a far difference. We were talking about it earlier, right? The other thing is that my fear now is after 3 games, right? And this is coming straight from the past season. Because tactically wise, right? Eddie Howe did a very smart thing. He sat back and he knew Spurs will be dominant. He knew Spurs will have the ball. And I think he contained us at the edge of the penalty box. And like you said, our quality wasn't there. Brenda's crosses weren't met by out number 9, right? And we had our chances. We didn't take it. Will our players now start to question Ange's tactics? Because the second goal, it was so clear. Romero was bombing up. He loses the ball, or Madison loses the ball, and Joelinton gets the ball. One through ball through the middle. Jacob Murphy was running at it. Bissouma was chasing after him. I was telling Ten earlier, Bissouma should have. I think you were on to right. Bissouma should have just taken the yellow card, or even taken a red card to bring him down.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And he should have brought him even down in the penalty box. He should have taken him down before he reached the penalty box. Right. Because that time he was actually matching him. Right. But the thing is that maybe the Spurs players are too nice. Right. But it is what it is. And the worst part is that a lot of Spurs fans were actually monitoring this scenario is because when we lost possession in that play of the ball in the game, our defenders weren't chasing back at all. Romero was jogging back, right? And I think maybe because I don't even think Dragusin was chasing back, because if I'm not mistaken, Bissouma was chasing back, Udogi was chasing back, right? But maybe Dragusin was there, but Dragusin wasn't chasing Murphy, but he didn't know what to do because he was in between Murphy and Isak.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we were marking space again. We weren't marking man. If the ball was going through, right, and Bissouma was chasing Murphy, and maybe if Dragusin was chasing after Isak, if he was marking man to man, maybe he would have been able to intercept the ball, or give him a bit of harder time to just tap the ball in. You see, that's the things that. Have you actually noticed this tactics, right? Will the players sooner or later say that, boss, we can't play this way?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
The first phase of this rebuilding of Spurs, yes,
Yeah.
with this new manager, and Postecoglou. What happened in the first instance is anybody who's not physically up to it, doesn't have the speed, and the strength to do it, he pushes out first. Okay, number one. Then, when once you have dealt with the physical deficit, then you want to see the next stage, who has total belief or not.
Okay.
Right? Who has total belief or not? Because if you say that we cannot play this way, that means even if you're physically able to, you would not be doing the chasing back, even though you're capable of. You're not trying hard enough to at least make it. Okay, despite your whatever So if you don't believe you can make it, then you're not the man to be there. So I feel that the next stage will be weeding out the ones who do not believe in it, because he's the man in charge. He wants to rebuild Spurs. He will not just take this window, you know. He'll take another 2 or even 3 windows. Both
But Doc,
winter.
he has already had what was it, 3 windows, right? And he's already spent 350 million pounds.
Well, he has spent, but we also got some money from sales. Not so much, but at least it's something. He has
So that's
to
a
get the
very-
wages. He has to get those wages, high-paying wages. For example, Ndombele, £200,000 per week and all that. Get him off
Okay.
our chest. Yeah.
No, then we signed
Yeah.
Timo Werner on a loan on 165 million pounds a week.
That one, I hold my hand up. Okay, right? I agree with you. I don't see the sense in that as well, because
Yeah.
Timo Werner is not the goal scorer. Yes, right? He's just a more
But
experienced.
He's
Ah.
supposed to be the goal scorer. You get what I'm saying? Now? If you pay the
Yeah.
kind of money, right, he should contribute at least another.
You know what I would do. I'm not the football manager, but I get the sense that midfield needs more defensive steel than what we actually have right now.
Okay, we come back to the
Ah.
thing again, right? I'm going to
Yeah.
ask Pen, right? What is Tonali's number? Is he a number 6? Is he a number 8? Or is he what does he do? Or is he a cam?
I think he's more of a number 6, but I wouldn't say like a number 6 similar to a Wadri, but maybe someone that's more. To be honest, I don't know how to describe it, because I think him and Bruno Guimaraes are kind of like similar-ish players. I think they have different qualities, but they're similar in terms of like they can play both as a number 6 and as a number 8. Because when we played Forest in the cup, Tonali was more of the number 8 or the more creative, and Bruno Guimaraes, when he came on, he was more of the defensive, holding the ball a lot. But I think in this game, the Spurs game, it was kind of like Tonali was probably holding the ball a bit more, from what I remember, and Bruno was the more creative. So I think both Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali, they can play both as a number 6 and a number 8, but I would probably prefer Tonali as the number 6, because I think maybe Bruno Guimaraes is more of that creative, or whatever number 8 you want to say.
Okay, fair. Big up to Bayern View. Hope you're doing well. Right, big up. Coming from 10's channel. But no, okay, that's why. And then we remember the whole transfer window. We will be the fans all shouting, "We need a number 6. We need a number 6." Right? And when the second goal came in, right, a lot of us were saying, "That's where the number 6 should have been, covering that line, right, blocking
Yeah.
that pass, not making it easy for Joe Linton to put that through ball that true ball through." Yes, so coming down to it again, right? Like I said before, it's early, 3 games into the season. Like what Doc you said earlier, we want to get this rubbish kind of feeling out of the way, get all that mistakes done now, right? And hopefully we improve, let's say, after the Arsenal game.
Okay. Look, there just now. Sorry to just go back 2 matches
don't worry,
back to the
yeah,
Everton game. Yes.
Yeah.
You remember when we score 4 goals against them, and we say, "Oh, it's only Everton," right? But do you know that is an even bigger millstone around your neck? You know, if you cannot score against Everton, what would have been the mood for all of us then? You see, cannot score against.
I understand that.
It needed to be done, and it was done. So
Yeah.
the biggest issue, when you see we try to find what is wrong with us, what is wrong, then you have to go back in the first instance, what went right, and if it went right, why did it go right? Not just because that the opposition were weak, not necessarily so. Because I remember 1 or 2 players from Everton did cause us trouble. That midfielder, what's his name? Yeah, Jackson, wasn't it? What's his name?
Sorry, the midfielder, the Corey.
Huh?
The Corey.
There's another guy, the blonde guy, tall, rangy guy. So he was causing us trouble. Anyway, there were a few players who could have caused us trouble, you know.
Yeah.
But it
No,
ended
there's
up, yeah, yeah,
no, during the Everton game, right? There were a couple of corners, right, that actually was very hairy. You can see.
yeah, yes,
And
yes,
the thing is that I
Yeah.
come at the sense that Everton were decimated through their injuries and all that. Brentford wasn't there and all that. They had youngsters on the pitch. Oh, it wasn't Jackson. It was Dixon. Dixon.
okay.
Sorry. Was it Dixon? Oh no, sorry. Dixon wasn't blocked.
Doesn't sound
Dixon,
familiar. Huh?
Dixon was the guy we'll call running up and down with Odegaard. Midfield. Sorry, Dixon was on the left fullback. He's a left fullback. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackson, I can't remember. Right. But
He was a midfielder. Yeah, he was spraying the passes. He was taking the free kicks and all that. So he was a really useful guy. He was a thorn in our flesh for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is that we know that 4-0 scoreline, right? We still have to put the ball behind the net. That was the kudos we were given. But the problem is that
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
play better quality teams, right, that match will seems to look like we're papering over the cracks. You get what I'm saying? Because we had all the chances and we took it and we scored 4, right?
Yeah,
In that
yeah.
game. And then
Yeah.
in the Iwobi wasn't blonde. Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure.
No, no.
Oh, and it
No, no,
will be-
no, no.
It wasn't
No,
Iwobi.
you will be.
No, Iwobi. Right, Iwobi wasn't blonde.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
So when we come down to the Newcastle game, right? Newcastle had little bit, let's say, like Newcastle at this stage in time had a little bit more quality than us, even though I would say that their midfield was better than us, their attacking selection was better than us. It's only their defense looks a bit shaky and weak because
Yeah.
you've lost Botman, right?
And-
You lost
yeah.
Shaw, right? And if I'm not mistaken, who was in your defense? Dan Burn and
Millcraft.
Millcraft.
Kraft, yeah.
And Kraft,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kraft was good.
sweet guy. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Kraft was good. Kraft was doing good, right? And what I saw is that early in the game, right, Newcastle, the defenders were picking up yellow cards already. Right? Kraft got a yellow card, right? Even Dan Burn got a yellow card, but some other we couldn't push on and we couldn't take advantage of that. But the thing is that with the quality that Newcastle had, right, and with the amount of chances you were saying that we had 20 shots, 20 chances and all that, and we didn't even score a goal. It was an own goal, right? And they had like 6 or 7 or let's say even 10, right? They put in 2, right? So that is my fear at this moment in time. That is my biggest fear, right? But as we'll be going on when we're on our mark, right? I'll make it a short show today. I won't make it too long because tomorrow I got to work. But guys, thanks for being on. Right? Please like, subscribe to Spurs Vision TV, to Ted Deetham's channel, right? And of course, go on Twitter and join Dr. Ramlan, right? Or Spock's Dr. Ramlan on Twitter. X. We got to call it X now. But before that, we will have a last word that we go around. I won't want to go into the North London Derby because that's about 2 weeks from now. And we won't even go into the Wolves game with 10 because that's 2 weeks from now. Because,
Yeah.
as I said, the international break Spurs. I'm so worried that Romero will go over to Argentina and he'll pull his hair or something like that and he come back injured. And of course,
Okay.
Son, he looks a bit big up Tari DJ. Hope you're well. He's coming over from Tennis Channel too, right? I'm worried for Son too, right? Because in this first 3 games, right, he apart from the Everton game, because we won, he was up, and that's home. The away games, our away games record, it's so bad at this moment in time, it scares me, right? That's one thing. And whenever we play away, when things don't go right, Son looks a bit dejected, right? Like you're saying, at the moment now, is he fitting the captain role, right? Or do we really need to find someone else to become the captain of the team, the squad for Spurs, right? And to tell the truth, for Newcastle, your captain is Bruno Guimaraes, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And
no.
that guy is, still, in the midfield, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's still in the midfield. And to tell the truth, right? And he can be creative too.
Yeah.
Mahrez can be creative too. And for us, that our only creative output at the moment now is Madison, right?
Yeah.
And the sad part with Madison is that he needs space to be creative. And whenever you lock him down, right, he loses his creativeness. He needs space to do his work. We'll see. Madison wasn't even called up for the England squad. That's one thing. You've got how many players in England squad? 3.
Livramento, Gordon, and I think we hope.
Oh, yeah, you
That's
got
Trippier's
Trippier,
already
right?
retired.
Yeah, Trippier is retired, so that's how I see it. But all I can say is that I won't make any predictions because international break. I want to see when they come back how they do, and I'm not sure how many games Son is going to play. Is it the World Cup qualifiers in the Asian category? There's
Yeah.
third round
Yeah.
or something, right? If I'm not mistaken. World Cup qualifiers, third round in the Asian category. And
Yeah.
that's when actually the business part of the World Cup qualifications for Asia. Right. So that's how it. And 10, the news of Philippines and Malaysia. Doc, 10 was saying Philippines beating Malaysia.
Yeah, and then I saw it was 1-1, but I can't really see the game, but probably we lost.
They're playing tonight?
Yeah.
I've lost track. I've lost track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not playing whether they're playing Bukit Jalil or they're playing in Philippines. I think
I
it's
think
Merdeka.
in Bukit Jalil.
It's the Merdeka tournament. You're not mistaken.
Yeah.
Merdeka tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be Bukit Jalil then. Yeah.
Yeah, Bukit Jalil. If it's Merdeka tournament, it's Bukit Jalil. That's in Malaysia. That's how I feel this moment. International break come. Let the international break pass. Then we'll talk about the NLD. And when we are talking about NLD, we'll bring on some Arsenal fans on like Mani and maybe Luca and all that. And let's see how we go from there. Last thoughts from you, 10.
Yeah, been a good weekend, I guess. Even though Newcastle haven't really performed play amazingly, we still are unbeaten, unlike Spurs or Bayer Leverkusen, who've lost a game already. So yeah, I mean, so far so good. And Deportivo won a couple hours after we beat Spurs. So yeah, it was a good weekend basically for me. And yeah, subscribe to Spurs Eurasian TV and my channel.
And don't forget 10 Tito. And Doc, last thoughts, because we have to get you back onto more shows nowadays, right?
Okay. Well, in the first instance, you remember when we say let's not panic? Yes? But we still have that remains true after only 3 games, okay? But the fact remains that we still need to be concerned. Yes? Right?
Yes.
So now with the international break, the coaches have to put their minds together and the heads together and then decide what are our strengths and what are the weaknesses and shortcomings, right? The usual thing is you really have to play to your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. There's no team in this world that has no weaknesses, all right? So the most important thing right now, the personnel that we've got is still not quite there yet. We're still missing a few pieces like a very strong number 6. Pushing Romero up as a number 6 is an intriguing idea, but that will make us short at the back. Because if either Dragusin or Van der Ven get injured, then who's the backup? Yes?
Yeah. But,
right?
But is that we've been talking about this number 6, right? But the problem is that we've been watching Ash for so long, right? He doesn't play with a number 6, He plays with 2 8s.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. He just plays. The idea is, you know why? Because you look at Romero. He is the guy walking imperiously in the middle of the field trying to find the long pass to thread through a pass. Right? We've seen so many times what he's doing. And most of the time he does play a nice pass. He does. Threading the ball through. But the thing is, if it doesn't go through, then he's coming back. Right? And when he's coming back, where is his position? In midfield. So he has to chase back.
And you can't do that all the time. Yeah.
No, not him. He's not. He doesn't chase. If he's let's say 2 or 3 yards, yes, he'll make the tackle, right? But he's not the sort of guy. Dragusin did better. He was the guy who was running, and he times the tackle well, right?
Yeah.
Of course. But 3 games in, so let's look forward to the North London derby. You didn't want to say anything about the London derby, yes? But we really have to learn our stuff during the international break.
Yeah, the judge, right?
Yeah.
And the judge, I had to get you on the show again, right? We have to sit down one these days, right, and do a show.
Boleh. Boleh.
and
Yeah.
examine the tactics. That's what's going on with
Ah.
the
Look,
so-called
I'm
anti-ball.
no. To be honest with you, sometimes it looks suicidal. You know. Yes.
Yes.
Especially when like last season when we played against Chelsea, right? Right. His attitude was even if we only have 5, we'll still play. Remember he said that?
Yeah, that way, yeah.
That really shows his mindset. He is,
And that's going to be really scary, right? Oh dear. But we'll go
right.
to another one these days, and me and Doc will
We'll
sit
go.
down.
We'll go. I'm glad to be back, and nice to see you again, Ten. And yeah, Eugene.
Chance to say hi to all the guys,
Okay.
right? Thank them for being on. Big
Okay.
up to our DJ, thanks for being on.
Yeah.
Shere, the Bayern View, of course, Ten is here. Eva Man from Hong Kong, big up, thanks to you. 8744, Elias, Daniel Coys, who else has been here? Balu, thanks for your subscription too, right? Guys, thanks for being on, right? Catch up again. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and all the good stuff that we do on YouTube, right? And before we say goodbye, and as always, I always have to say this, DV out.